Welcome back to another episode of Art of Alignment, where I'm going to deep dive through the book The Art of War by Sun Tzu, and it's from my spiritual perspective. And today I want to talk about the art of maneuvering, which is chapter 7 in the book. I like to call this one Flow, the strategic movement and sacred discipline. So in the book, Sun Tzu has a quote where he says, "In war, the general receives his commands from the sovereign." So just to bring this one home, you're not reacting to what life throws at you. You're going within to receive your orders, from your higher self, from the divine, but this chapter mainly is a masterclass in divine movement. So like you're no longer existing, you're maneuvering. Every step is sacred, every move is strategic. So this isn't about blindly rushing forward. It's about aligning your energy, your household, your mission with divine timing and sacred position. So with that being said, there's several points that I took away from this that I'd like to go into a deep dive about. So my first point I like to make is called turning deviation into direction. So Sun Tzu teaches that technical maneuvering is hard, and which that can be true, and it's only because that means you're turning devious into direction, misfortune into momentum. And to me, that's not just strategy, that's spiritual alchemy. Why? Because you're learning to adapt with peace. You're learning to turn or reroute with purpose. And you're also letting your detours be the direction. And when you move with that type of wisdom, I believe nothing is wasted. So my second point I want to make is pace with precision. So Sun Tzu warns us that when the strong rush ahead, the weary fall behind and the mission collapses. And I want you to think about this. How many of you lived this, where you were carrying people that you weren't aligned with, that you slowed your rhythm down for those that weren't ready to go at the pace you were going? So in order for you to even continue to go through this process of evolution, you can't allow that. You can't allow for yourself to slow down. You have to protect your pace, march in alignment, not in attachment. So, and really understand that your rhythm is sacred. So protect it, preserve it. Another takeaway I've gathered is I like to call local wisdom equals spiritual intelligence. So generals in new territory rely on local guides. What does this mean for you? So this means your dreams, your intuition, the nudges, synchronicities, the whispers of the spirit. One thing I've learned in my journey is that you don't have to understand everything mentally. That's not your strategy anymore. You have to learn how to move with a knowing that defies explanation. Because one thing is for sure is that your spirit has walked this terrain before. So my fourth point here is called silence, shadow, and strategy. So Sun Tzu said that let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like thunderbolt. So what does he mean by that? This is your energy now. Not everything is meant to be posted. Not everything is meant to be shared. Some moves are sacred. Some growth is private. And I learned that this is shadow work turned into precision. Like your alignment doesn't scream anymore. It echoes. So move in the dark and strike when it's time. And this next point is mastery over mood. Sun Tzu cautions us to never move when our army's spirit is low. And I sat with that. And I'm gonna allow y'all to sit with that too. Because what I'm learning is how to manage my mood like a master. To lead myself with emotional intelligence. And what does that look like? Resting when needed. Advancing when I'm grounded. And waiting whenever the spirit tells me not yet. And that's not passivity. That's just divine leadership within myself. My last point is called discern deception. Meaning, not every opportunity is divine. Not every invitation is in alignment. Sun Tzu reminds us that some battles are bait. So what does that mean for you? I feel like you've evolved enough to feel the difference. because sometimes the power lies in just walking away, holding on to your peace, or saying no without feeling guilty. Because one thing is for sure is that clarity is a weapon. And I say all that to say this: you are no longer rushing blindly. You are the sovereign strategist in your life. Maneuvering isn't manipulation, it's mastery. You move with vision, with alignment, and with conviction. You don't just react, you recalibrate. You don't just hustle, you harmonize. You aren't led by impulse, you're led by inner intelligence. And that is the art of maneuvering. I'd like to thank you guys again for sitting down with me as we walk this journey through the art of war, through my 13-part series I like to call the Art of Alignment. This is episode 7. I like to call it Flow: Strategic Movement and Sacred Discipline. Thank you guys again.